You have some potential, Sir Chef. I'll let you cook for us as our square. I'm Skip, by the way, captain of the Blue Sky Knights.
We were on to headhunting already? These kids didn't mess around. I'm honored, Captain Skip. But to tell the truth, I'm kind of busy right now. Oh no. They were hitting me with the pout of despair and the eyes of the puppy dog. I bit my lip. This little game wouldn't take too long, right? Still, it has always been my dream to cook for the Blue Sky Knights. Squire Vane, at your service. I just didn't have it in me to rain on their parade. After dubbing me in a formal ceremony, Captain Skip raised his tiny fist in the air.
We got our chef! Next we have to search for a base. Split up, soldiers! We meet back here in 1 hour!
The rest of the kids responded with a rousing cheer, and then they were off.
Hey, Sir Chef! That means you too!
I saluted. Couldn't disobey direct orders from a commanding officer. Anyways, I still had time to spare. I was gonna find these kids the coolest base ever. Yeah! They won't know what hit them! Captain said there's some good spots around here. Just gotta make sure they're safe. Whoops! Looks like this place is already occupied. Done and dusted. Now, let's look for safer real estate. More monsters. This is definitely not a kid-friendly joint. Whoops. Take a hike! Blast off! That was a workout and a half. I think I might be in monster territory. Nancy and I used to love exploring the woods. Woohoo! It's a party up in here! But it looks like I wasn't invited. And now that that's over, back to the search. No monsters, perfect size and location? Wait, I think I see a path on the other side of that thicket. I bet it leads to Folka. Captain Skip! I think I found it! I led the kids to a sweet glade I discovered in the woods. It was right next to a big thoroughfare, so they wouldn't have to worry about monsters or getting lost. I mean, if I could find my way back, then anyone could. Still, the place was surrounded by some nifty bushes and trees that shaded it from prying eyes. All in all, I think I did pretty well. And, judging from all the frolicking going on, the Tykes agreed. Captain Skip pulled out a handmade flag that he'd apparently just been carrying around and stuck it in the ground.
This land is now the hideout of the Blue Sky Knights!
And sure, the thought, technically knights don't have hideouts, flashed into my mind, but you can't expect kids to know that. Actually, you know what? These Tykes might be onto something. Maybe I should ask Lancey for her own secret base later. Anyway, for the time being, I was in what had to be one of the top 10 hideouts in all the skies. I found a nice, plush patch of moss and plopped down. It was a good day.
Need something?
Every time the crew touched down in Folka, I would make a beeline for the Blue Sky hideout. Half of it was me being a responsible adult and wanting to make sure the Tykes were okay. But there was also the call of duty. Wouldn't be much of a chef's square if I let the troops go hungry, would I? Don't worry, I didn't stuff the kids with just carbs. I also fed them knowledge. Things like what fruit to eat, what shrooms and plants were poisonous, how to tell if a flower had edible nectar, and where to hide from monsters. Lesson number 1, though, was how to locate drinkable water. The kids were living on the edge of a forest, after all. One day, this information could save their lives. For now, at least, it was all in good fun, and the Tykes were loving it. Whenever I gave them a demonstration, they'd rush to repeat it. 9 times out of 10, they'd fail, but instead of getting discouraged, they started a race to see who could get it right the fastest. And I'd always get this strange feeling that I'd traveled back in time. Back to when I was a squire of Fiendrock, just beginning to discover the world.
Hey, Sir Chef, see that bug up there? You think you can catch it?
Gotcha. All right, gather around, knights. So, this little guy is super good at sensing monsters. Whenever danger approaches, he's the first to hide. There's actually a rhyme about it. Goes, bug on tree, monster free. Bug in ground, monsters around. Those kids were the most inquisitive students you could hope to meet. Soaked up knowledge like a sponge. If I had to choose just one lesson I wanted them to take away, though, it would be know when to ask for help. Because reaching out to others isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of trust. And without trust, you can't build an order of knights or any relationship. Growing up doesn't mean you have to solve all your problems alone. I hoped the kids wouldn't lose sight of that, as I once did. One sunny afternoon, I was heading to the woods with the tykes when I saw a boy crouched in the shadow of the city walls. Who's he? An innocent question, but Captain Skip glowered and folded his arms.
Just some weirdo from Tempeal. He always looks like his balloon just popped. Once, I asked him if he wanted to be a knight, and he started crying. It's probably better to just leave him alone.
Skip ended this bit with a snort that said, "And that's that." But I couldn't help glancing back at the boy. There was something about him that seemed so lonely. Hey, Captain Skip, this is just my humble opinion, but isn't the duty of a knight to help people? Especially those who kinda sorta look like they might be in need. At this, Skip's face puckered up so hard, you'd have thought I squeezed lemon juice into his mouth. I got where the little dude was coming from, though. It wasn't always easy to do the right thing. But that's what made it so rewarding.
You're not wrong, Sir Chef. Defending justice means defending the weak.
Skip dashed over to the city walls. After what looked like a pretty one-sided conversation, he came back with the boy in tow.
Say hello to the newest member of the Blue Sky Knights!
I couldn't keep from smiling. In that moment, Skip and the lonely boy were the mirror image of Lancey and me when we were kids.